Welcome to the B2B Sales and Marketing Hotline.
Dialing up the latest tactics and hottest trends, we're here to help you take your B2B game from stagnant to stellar.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Maryanne. And together, we're ready to answer your burning B2B sales and marketing questions.
Each episode, we'll tackle a need-to-know topic in the ever-evolving world of B2B sales and marketing. We'll break it down with actual takeaways that you can implement right away.
And because you don't get results without real talk, we're wrapping up every show with a quick Q&A segment. So fire away with your burning questions.
Whether you're a seasoned sales leader or a marketing maestro just starting out, the B2B Sales and Marketing Hotline is your one-stop shop to take your B2B efforts to the next level.
Hi, Emily.
Hello.
We're back for another episode of our podcast. And today we're going to be talking about integrating HubSpot with other tools and kind of how that works. I know this is an intimidating topic for many, but I'm excited to dive into it today because it's really applicable to all. Every size business, small, medium, or big, deals with integrations. We're all using lots of different tech platforms. And I feel like this is a good one for everybody.
I totally agree. And I think a lot of people don't even know the extensive amount of integrations that HubSpot offers just on the click of a button. And I think that's an area that a lot of people don't even know about. So I'm excited to kind of chat about it.
Something we've learned a lot about at Lead G2 as a whole, and then you and I personally from some of the accounts that we've worked on and the integrations that have come up that are needs, trying to research and figure out what integrations are available and what the needs are. So yes, Absolutely. It's growing every day and something I think people feel in the dark about and need to learn more about. So
yeah. Yes, I totally agree.
Okay. So let's start with what an integration is, I guess, and identifying what those integration needs are when you're working in HubSpot. So integration is any other platform or technology you use that you want to have talk to, and we're talking specifically in the case of HubSpot, talk to HubSpot. So what integrates with HubSpot? I hate to say anything, but really anything, right? I mean, their integration options are almost endless. And if they don't have the option, I know Emily just recently worked with a client specifically on creating it. So endless integration options.
Yes, absolutely. And I think some of the most, the normal ones we hear of are, like the Salesforce integration or,
CRM.
Zoom, like the bigger ones. But I mean, there are a lot of lesser known integrations like a PandaDoc integration, or even, an integration with your Outlook or your Gmail, things that just make your life easier, make your information less disjointed. We all talk all the time about, making HubSpot your, single source of truth, your main place to go for all the information. And, how wild is it that people are doing things outside of HubSpot that could easily be talking with HubSpot. If you want your emails connected with HubSpot, now you have that. If you want your calendar hooked up with HubSpot, you can do that. So there's lots of things that will just kind of make HubSpot that continue to be that single source of truth.
And, things like Salesforce integration, I think that's one of their most popular ones, but HubSpot's biggest thing is that they are a CRM. And so it's funny that their biggest integration is with a CRM, but there's different complexity needs for every single company. And whether you're large or small, if you're set up somewhere else and you have a reason for being on it, HubSpot wants to make it easy for you to be able to connect and have that talk. So, I would think CRM would be the biggest, but then also email marketing, although I don't like to see that one because I feel like HubSpot's email marketing is better than the integrated ones. But social media, ads, advertising is a really, really big one. Google ads, Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads.
Yeah, Google Search Console if you want your keywords and stuff integrating.
Virtual meetings, people do the Zoom integration, project management systems. I know, we use Asana, you can integrate that.
Yeah, if you have a meeting link set up with HubSpot and you connect Zoom or Teams or whatever it is that you use, you can actually have, when someone signs up for a meeting, you could have your meeting link automatically show up for that meeting, and not have to manually go and add it, which, that people do. All the time, I run into people that do that. So
literally any integration is worth it if it could make your life more efficient to automate something and have multiple platforms talking to one. I mean, gone are the days that anybody has, even our best and biggest HubSpot clients who have the HubSpot Sales Enterprise, Marketing Pro, Service Professional, all of the hubs, they still have integrations, and HubSpot celebrates that. They don't want you, the goal is not to not have
everything down and only use
they know you're going to have other sources of technology use, and they want it to be easy to connect. So,
okay. So if we were to give our listeners, okay, leave this and go do something, I think I would recommend, kind of do a tech stack audit, right? Kind of think about what it is that you use every day, whether that's your project management system, whether that's your, your video, how you do video, whether it's Teams or Zoom or whatever. If you use a StreamYard or a Loom.
Think of repetitive tasks. What repetitive tasks are you doing, and how can you streamline them?
And then go to
you want streamlined through a workflow, and therefore an integration.
Yes. And then go to the marketplace in HubSpot and search to see if there's an integration.
But here's the thing that people are not going to want to hear. And that is, I love this. Maybe I overuse this phrase, but this is not a set it and forget it. Integrations. I know we do portal audits a lot, and we'll see tons of integration errors. I mean, they pop up. You have to go in there and make sure to keep it clean. You have to see what's, anytime either HubSpot or what you're integrating with has some type of update, it could cause an error. So you do have to, you can set it and have it work in automation, but you cannot forget it. You really do have to go back in. It's a tab. It's right there in HubSpot. All you have to do is check on the integrations. It alerts you what is needed, and you can check and make sure that there aren't any updates that need to happen. So it's not
such a good point. I mean, truly, there's a lot of people, and I mean, everyone can fall into the habit of connecting it and then just going about their lives. And then, when you go and click on that integrated apps tab and you see all those errors, that does. So that is a good call out. It's important to note. And I think that goes to show too, to not have things integrated that you don't need. A lot of times we do portal audits where there's, you might be on the other side of this, a spectrum where you have a ton of things. You're listening to this, you're like, I have so many things integrated. You need to clean that up, right? You don't want to have things integrated that aren't working, are, cluttering your system, are, causing errors. So I think same is true for the reverse. Make sure that what you have integrated is actually stuff that you use and that you need integrated.
And for B2B, it's going to look different than for B2C. I think the popular kind of categories for B2B are with marketing automation, with sales enablement, with customer service. It might look a little different than some of the B2C. So just kind of keep that in mind too. You're not going to have the same integrations as your pal's company who sells something totally different.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a lead issue as a client, a couple of clients actually, that they will do a quick paid a landing page for a quick paid thing, right? So a paid $500 for this service or something, and you could actually use some of these integrations to your benefit. You could have a Stripe integration, or you could have something where they could actually just pay right there for you, not even have to speak to a salesperson, self-service, pay for themselves. So there are some integrations that you could actually, maybe you're not even using them right now, that you could kind of start to think about. I think that would be one of them. If you wanted more of a self-service, you could.
Okay. I love that you mentioned that, because I'm going to flip the coin here and say, we were talking about how the benefits are for the business to have their processes and repetitive tasks really automated and more efficient. But the reality is, this is going to be a lot better for your user. When your user shows up to your landing page and the payment processing is integrated with your system and it's all clear and through one system, that is a lot better than sending them to a different website to pay. Your user experiences it in a lot of different ways, with your meeting links, with your everything. So it's great for you to have the analytics all in one place, to have your tasks efficient, but it really is the user recognizes when things are disjointed or when they're really, really well connected. So integrations affect them too.
Yeah. And that even made me think too about like your user, but also your salespeople. I mean, think about like the Zoom info integration or the seamless AI, being able to find leads and import them automatically through the integration, not having to export a whole document and import. And I mean, it really does save a lot of time. And honestly, I think if nothing else, some people just don't know that these types of things are easy and that they don't require a lot of, you don't have to go and pay a developer and spend a ton of money to do some of these more basic integrations.
But I do think there's some fears, like they don't know that they're available. And then also I think some people who do know have like the fears of cost, of complexity, of what it's going to be like to set up. I know we had that as an agency when a lot of new native integrations were coming out. Those are the ones that are hardwired and coded by HubSpot. It was overwhelming for us to how complex is this actually going to be to set up for one of our clients, and kind of not knowing that as a business can be overwhelming. And then security, right? When you're connecting everything to one place, your odds of what if you get hacked and they'll know everything, those are all some valid concerns I think people deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. And I think just, going into the marketplace and looking at some of these integration pages, they have some really detailed photos and screenshots, and it really shows you like what it will look like within HubSpot, what the integration will actually appear like in the contact record or on the landing page or whatever. It really does give you like that extra. There's some videos also that you can see. And I think, I would say like biggest takeaway is just go poke around in the marketplace if you don't have an integration already. The more integrations that you have with HubSpot, well, the more integrations that are helpful to you in HubSpot, I think the more you will start to feel like HubSpot becomes that source of truth for you. Rather than having just like a bunch of things that are kind of floating on their own islands.
And the good news is you don't have to have a coder or an API expert to be able to connect your technology anymore. I mean, we're living in 2024, and if it feels too complex for you, if you're not ready for it, then you can come to an agency like us who does that. I mean, we can help kind of manage that process as that in between. So not creating new integrations necessarily and coding, but managing the process of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Got a shameless plug. Lead you
to girl, I am.
Okay, cool. Well, I think if you feel ready, I'm ready to jump into some questions. All right, I'm just gonna throw them out here. Okay. With so much content out there, how can you best stand out and generate high quality leads that convert into sales?
Yes. So one of our previous episodes about content recycling is one thing you could do because there is a lot of content out there, and standing out and generating leads is what we're all trying to do, right? And then converting to sales, totally different thing once you get the lead. So
what I was going to say is actually, I was actually, when I heard the question, when I heard myself read it, I was thinking like content for sales, right? Like sales enablement. So that was kind of where my brain went. So
okay, I see.
Okay, not content necessarily for generating leads, but content for salespeople.
Converting leads.
Yes. So like my first thought was put more emphasis in content that sales can use. So it's like dual purpose. So case studies, putting more emphasis on like one-feature ebooks that explain your services, things that I think both are important, but like that's where my brain went on like moving people through what can we do to arm sales with what they need.
Okay. And because this is a two-prong, having that content and then training sales on how to use it.
Yes.
Where do they find it? In what circumstances would they use it? How should they send it? What thought leadership can they add to it when they send it? There's a lot to bringing the consistency of how salespeople are using content in their process outside of just arming them with it.
Yes, I could jump on my soapbox and talk about this forever, but it's so true. If your salespeople don't know where you put the one sheet, they can't use it. So having
Step one.
training on where things live, how to use them, where to send them. If you're using HubSpot, sending them through the documents tool, using the templates, like really helping them, having those sales plays in the sales playbook section, like really arming your team. That is where when I read that, I was like, okay, how can we generate leads that convert into sales? We can start putting more time and energy into arming and teaching and training sellers to use content in their process and converting people into sales with
I love it. It's so true.
Beautiful. Okay, next question. Adopting a new CRM can be a lot of work. Woo!
I love this topic.
What are some common mistakes you see businesses make when implementing HubSpot, and how can they be avoided? I mean, there's so many, right?
Not having a CRM, that is a huge mistake.
Yes.
Second of all, management not being behind the CRM, not involved in the CRM, just throwing it on their salespeople and saying, okay, now you have to use this. They have to understand it. They have to champion it. They have to be behind it, because it doesn't matter how much you're paying, how much training you have. If management doesn't care, salespeople aren't going to care.
And just to kind of like honestly reiterate your last statement there and say, tying pay and tying performance metrics directly to HubSpot. I think that is an area where, I mean, at the end of the day, if no one's making you use a new tool, unless you are just the type of seller who is excited by a new tool and wants to use it as a productivity tool, you're just not going to learn it. You're just not going to use it. If no one's tying your revenue, your success at the company to your usage of the CRM, then you're just not going to use it. Like, I think we've worked with a wide array of clients with this
CRM setups, and we've worked with lots of sizes. So we've worked with companies who are setting up a CRM for 5 salespeople, and we've set up a CRM for what? How many locations with how many salespeople?
I mean, 500 plus.
Literally.
I just have to say that if you are not tying something money related to something, whether it's, they don't put in the deal, so when they sell it, they don't get the commission. Sorry, the deal wasn't in the pipeline. Or you are expected to do 50 calls, and if you don't do 50 calls, and I see you haven't done your 50 calls, then activity or meetings or whatever it is, whether it's tying to the deal or tying to activity, whatever it is, if you are not incentivizing or unincentivizing based on the CRM, it won't work. It just won't work. I mean, the sellers, it's.
So I'll tell you another mistake I think that is made, and that is unplanned rollouts. I think companies are like, great, I just bought the CRM, perfect. We'll just tell everybody to start using it, send them a couple videos, like getting people excited, not overwhelmed, step-by-step directions, having it customized to who you are. There are a lot of steps that are involved with setting up the CRM and then rolling out the CRM and training on the CRM. It's not a 2-week process. And it's not that it's not simple. It's not simple, but it's not a quick and easy thing. Yeah. It really needs the time and attention that it deserves if you want it to succeed. So I think
that's why a lot of people end up partnering with an agency, right? Because it is it's a whole second full-time job for you, Mr. Business Owner, who's switching everyone, or Mrs. Business Owner, is switching everyone over to this new CRM. Now you're the one who has to do it and train and everything. So I do think that is the reason why a lot of agencies are here today. Ourselves.
Do we have an episode on this? We need to ask our producer.
We need to have an episode on this,
because I really feel like we could come away with some serious. This was just a Q&A at the end, but there's so much to this that I think we can help people with.
Yeah. I 1,000% agree.
Coming soon.
Yes, coming soon. I want to talk about the CRM usage guidelines.
Yes, usage guidelines. That would be fun. We can even send an example usage guidelines to people.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Got them all geared up for the next episode. We hope this integration episode was great too. And thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. Listen wherever you listen to your podcast. Bye.
Thanks so much for tuning in to the B2B Sales and Marketing Hotline.
Don't forget to follow us wherever you listen to podcasts so that you never miss an episode. And if you've got a question for us, head to the show notes and let us know what's on your mind.
And visit our website, leadg2.com, where you can find even more helpful B2B sales and marketing resources.